Hey everyone! So in this video I'm going to be going through the back view, and this is just kind of a general way of how to do the back view. It's not too complicated either, so let's go ahead and just get started. So when it comes to the back view, I'm going to probably draw a little bit bigger now. Let me go ahead and do the center here. Here we have the head, just the cranium. Then what I want you guys to do is to draw the center line, and then draw in 1/3 of the way the cross section. Now this is just the back part of the head, by the way, so don't worry too much about it. This is just kind of like the direction of where the head is. So it looks like that this head is facing this way here. That's why I drew the center line here and the other horizontal line on the other side. So now what we're going to do is we're going to draw in the spine now. I always like to start with the spine, and once again, Will Weston's method is because it's just easier to see the flow of the gesture. So some people will be like, oh, just do the line of action, which is definitely, and I taught this too, and I think it's also valid. That works. However, when it comes to the back, what you want to do mainly is the spine. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So here, let's first get started with the cervical spine. So this is your neck, kind of like the one down your neck. It starts from the base of the head down to here, and that is 1 hand length once again. Now the thoracic rib cage, or thoracic spine, is 2 hand lengths, and this goes more inward. So 1, 2. Then we have the, what's it called? Let me go ahead and check real quick. Oh, sorry, that's the lumbar. I didn't have to check, I just had to remember. And that's 1 hand length, and that kind of goes outward. Then we have the sacrum, which is, or the sacrum triangle, which is kind of like the tailbone of your pelvis, and that could just be like a little triangle. Now, of course, I'm going to be doing a female one, and I'll do a male one. Let me go ahead and zoom out. Actually, it's already all zoomed out. Oh well. So now from here we have our rib cage. So here we have our rib cage, and that kind of just starts around here and then ends around at the thoracic arch. And the general shape of the rib cage is kind of like rounded towards the sides, and it's kind of flat as well, but we don't have to worry about that too much. And as kind of like an optional thing, there's some muscles, or there's this kind of center line that kind of crosses over from that kind of like splits it in two. So for instance, this is the center line of these two muscles here. So this is part of your trapezius, and here we have kind of like our, I think it's your infraspinatus, but I could be wrong. Yeah, that's probably wrong. That's probably a scapula muscle. But anyways, I like to draw this as well because it kind of shows the form of the actual area here. Now this little area is where the 2 dimples are from your back. Now I'm going to just draw a girl here from the back. So here we have our waist, pelvis, bump, great trochanter. Waist, pelvis, great trochanter. We have our sacrum, or tailbone area. Then you would see these 2 dimples most of the time. And that is a good area of measurement because that can show you the perspective, especially if you're drawing the back view. So let's go ahead and draw in the glutes, centerpiece, and then our adductors, and towards the inner part of the knee, or not the knee, the leg, and then that. So this is usually like our little dimples that we use as a measurement, or not really a measurement, but just more like a little guideline. So you would usually see this kind of these 2 kind of dimples on some people, and that would help a lot with the figure that you're drawing. So now we can go ahead and kind of draw the pelvis, and the pelvis is kind of like a bowl-shaped bone. So I would kind of draw the sides of the pelvis kind of like so, kind of like the shape of a bowl. And then here we have the leg just really roughly placed in, and here we have the glutes. So let's see that from here all the way up here. Now let's go ahead and add in the scapula. Now the scapula, you start from the part where the cervical spine ends. You kind of draw a little bit of a measurement, one hand length, and then we have our scapula kind of going outward. And that scapula is about one hand length as well. You have it, it's more of a triangular shape. And from here, we can flatten it out and we can draw an ellipse just to kind of show that this is kind of like a little socket. And then here we have the arm. Other side. Now, of course, the scapula is more of a, this is more of a floaty bit. So depending on where the arm is, the scapula follows. So let's see here what we have so far. And now, because we only have the actual, we have the skeleton here, let's go ahead and fill it out. Here we have the obliques, just very, very simply put. Of course, I made her waist a little bit long, but oh well. We have the oblique areas, and then we can add in the breast here. We can add in the trapezius, base of the neck, and it becomes really easy to add features later on. In fact, I would go ahead and just kind of fill this out a little bit because it needs it. These are some fat pads that would go outside of the body. But anyways, that's pretty much it. I'll take a better photo of this. Hopefully that this was helpful for you guys. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, so I realized I forgot to do the male, whoops, let me go ahead and zoom out. I forgot to do the male version of the back, so let me go ahead and do that. And it's the same process, but it's just a little bit different in terms of curvature and all that stuff. So let's get started. Let me go ahead and draw this towards the side. Hopefully it doesn't look too choppy. So here, once again, we start off with the cranium. Let's do the same view. Once again, 1/3 mark, and then cross section here. Then we have our cervical spine, which is our one hand length. One hand length for the 2 hand lengths for the thoracic arch. And I'm not curving it as much as this one is, just to kind of contrast it a little bit. And then here we have our lumbar. Move down a little bit. Here, and that's 1 hand length. And then down here we would have our sacrum. And we can just kind of put in the center, or the kind of like the dividing line between the two. Not really dividing line, but it's more like a plane. Make it more like a plane rather than just a line, so it's more firmer than that. From here we have a rib cage down to the thoracic arch. From here we have our scapula, and I would probably put it out a little bit more. Whoops. And have this more kind of towards that way. We can go ahead and make the neck also a little bit thicker and kind of just bulk up the muscles from here. So this is the trapezius, which kind of has a trapezoidal feel to it. You don't have to do this. Oh, I think I will just end up doing this real quick. And then here, as we go down, we have the pelvis. That kind of has a bowl shape once again. And when it comes to the guys, the butts are smaller. And actually the glutes are actually a lot more like butterfly shapes. So it's more outer, like this. It's more like an outward butterfly shape. For girls, it's actually more like bottom heavy. So the muscle over here would actually be smaller, and then the bottom one would be bigger. So when it comes to the guys are more shoulder heavy. So what we can do is we can connect these two together. You know, here we have our lats kind of crossing over. And we have our obliques. And then out here we have our kind of like our pecs and serratus. So once again, we have our arms. You can always draw the arm kind of over on top, and this is the deltoid here, which is kind of like our main muscle for the arm, and then so on and so forth. So this was just a really quick one here. I'm not going to go too much in depth. This is just a more simplified version. So let's compare that with the back view of the male and the female. And just to kind of make it fair, I want to add a little bit of the trapezius as well. Trapezius is kind of like a trapezoidal trapezoidal shaped muscle. These little fanning muscles are the latissimus dorsi, which is the kind of the back muscle that kind of spreads around and goes all the way down. And then here we have the obliques. And the obliques can be mixed with stuff like the serratus muscle and everything. This is just more of a simplification that just makes it easier. So here we have the male and female together. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.